Hi, how's it? In the name of Christ, how you doing? It's Karabo, it's your girl Cran K. Di Karabo, I hope you're good, I hope you're peachy, I hope you're stellar. And I hope you're in a neat little bunch. If you're not, welcome to the party. Is that just not the story of our lives? Okay. Alright, let's just get straight into this. Today is the 22nd of December. 2024, and it's a cumbersome day. It's all really very exhausting what's going on, but it is what it is. CapCut has recently taken away a whole bunch of makeup features on their application and made them pro. The mobile CapCut version, they've made them pro. So I mean, we all know that I'm broke like a leg, so I can't afford to go pro, even though I would love to, but not on mobile, on PC, because it has a silence detection software, so I don't have to do 10 steps. Because of their removal of all of those features, I don't have access to as much makeup as I want, and so I can't really get the look that I want as much as I want it. But I have another application that has makeup that I can record with makeup on, but it unfortunately does not have a timestamp at the bottom over there. So what I've decided to do, seeing as I insist on my timestamp, is add the timestamp after the act and the little caption after the act in text in CapCut, and export with that. Then in that way I get the best of both worlds. I have my bread buttered on both sides, and I get to have my cake and eat it too. Okay, I get to have both the makeup look right next to the makeup look that I want, as much makeup as I want to put on, as much cute as I want to clobber, right next to my timestamp, because the timestamp camera does not accommodate you wearing makeup. You have to wear it afterwards. So this here is killing two birds with one stone. When I export, I'll put a timestamp down. So there should be a timestamp down there below. It's added only after the act, and it looks different from the one that I usually have. It evidences that it is the 22nd of December as at present. It's quite warm. I thought I wouldn't need this, but I do. 22nd of December. It is the 22nd of December 2024. There goes my word. It is the 22nd of December 2024 at around 15:52, like almost 4 p.m. Okay. Yeah. And the topic of the day. Please tell me this thing did not deplete all of the power bank's power. No, it didn't. So switch on. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the topic of the day, let's just make it up as we go along, shall we? Is Kiribotozalona. Congratulations, keep them. I hope to be able to remember that. Kiribotozalona. Congratulations, you get to keep them. I will remember that. Or I'll just listen to my video and then just type it into CapCut video editing. As for CapCut, congratulations, you're growing, do you? Now you get to charge for your services where before you started out free. That's the only leg of ByteDance that RJ will continue to make money in the future. Who knows, they might even take it away once TikTok dies, but we don't know. Let's see with time. You see these options that I have, right? Where it is that CapCut decides to go pro on makeup features, and I don't have much makeup to run with in my edits, and I don't like the looks that they have. But then I've got this application that gives me the ability to add makeup as much as I want, right next to me being able still to export with CapCut and still have my date stamp. It's basically extra steps that I took to achieve the same look and feel on my videos, but because one place went pro and what I need, it just took a little bit more time to deliver the final product, or just just a tad bit more work. It was not so much that I felt set back. But it was enough for me to be like, oh, what a bummer. What a bummer. Do you gauge? Do you comprehend? Okay. Listen, dibotho tsa lona, basadi, women from South Africa, they're yours. Take them, run with them, hop on a beach ball like a kangaroo. Be afraid, be very afraid like a scary little cat, as much as you desire. In the climate of a bunch of lackluster gangsters, like literally take them, keep them. I am not afraid, I am not very afraid of you, Onion Sabi. Your name is Cain and you are just killing Abel. And I am not about to go and fret and front in the climate of mere mortals. I am weary of being had sex with in my dreams, despite me being comprehensively celibate in waking life. Okay? Not only am I celibate, but I don't go out of my way to consume or indulge in things like pornography or weird little things that I just keep on watching even though they're grieving me on TV. So when I am having sex with men in my dreams, especially when I am all super consenting, largely I'm consenting because can't nobody just come at me with a flying cake with rape because I'm too prayerful. I wake up and I feel disillusioned and irritated like no man's business because I'm like, Bona Dinchatse, they're at it again. Look at these creeps. They're drying. Yeah, I mean, of course you're gonna do that. I mean, you women would know what it's like to have some beefy, lackluster baboon pursue you that you don't want, and how it is that when they keep saying, please, 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 I promise I'll be a great boyfriend. Please, 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 I promise I'll be a great lover. Please, please, it just disgusts you further. I've spoken about this over and over and over again. Men in the occult are like that. They like those random pursuers that'll out just shell you until you feel homicidal, until you feel like you need to get a restraining order, go to the police, anything to get rid of this tick in your hair. And so I am not surprised at all that your men keep doing that. Listen, I'm in a very feverish spiritual war. I've been in it for a minute, and among my signature terms, among my signature statements is, this is a war, we get it. You get to rock up in a gun battle with a gun. You get to rock up in a knife battle with a knife. I don't expect you to lengisa matsoho. I don't expect you to dangle your lackluster fingers. I really don't. I don't expect you not to fight after all. Gintwa, is it not? Look at my shirt. It's creased. It's because I've been in a cockpit with some men and I keep kicking in their teeth. I keep ending their lives. I'm quite the prolific warrior, so I'm not gonna enter into this little cockpit where there's like a whole bunch of people fighting, and because I'm just super out of it, exhausted, I'm so worn out, I'm then gonna expect, unfairly so, as a contestant in this battle, these baboons to just stay hostilities against my person and let me just punch them. I don't expect them to lengisa matsoho. I don't expect them to not throw in a punch, flail a kick, show me their skills. I don't expect them to not do the tootsie roll dance around and then dive on me like a sumo wrestler. I thoroughly don't expect them to chill and wait for me to slap them into eternity. I don't expect anybody to not come at me with your weaponry. I don't. We get you got weapons and we are not naive, so as to imagine you're not going to use them. So just because you can attack does not mean I'm gonna get all super frustrated until I end myself or whatever. You are frustrating, I will give you that much, but listen, that lackluster baboon that keeps on following you around in your school uniform, that won't leave you alone in his Mercedes every single day after school till you feel terrorized. How many of y'all young ladies ever hopped into his car because, I mean, he begged long enough? How many of y'all ever walked along in the park with him holding hands and licking some ice cream because you know he insisted long enough? How many of y'all ever dated that lackluster, gnarly, persistent, wicked witch of a man that just would not stop following you around despite you saying no, no, no? How many of y'all finally were like, okay, fine, seeing as you're so persistent? I mean, no duh, of course, none of y'all. So I don't understand why anybody out here in these streets imagines that the day's gonna arrive and I'm finally gonna take one of your lackluster baboons. But listen to this, right? These apes that you keep on dating women that you think that at some point I'm going to accommodate in my stride, I also don't expect them not to keep trying, because you know that's just the nature of persistent psychopaths that force people to do things that they did not sign up for. Bafosta. So their force might foresees, and for all of 5 seconds, really, it does not take very long. They might make me feel like, oh, this is gonna end me, I'm gonna die. Oh, this is, look, I can't anymore, it's so tiring. Oh, man, it's so very, very, very exhausting. Oh! Yeah, I mean, when I wake up from a horrific nightmare where one of these freaks with a rape out here, like, had sex with me, I feel like, God, yes, I mean, I can't anymore, I'm gonna die. It happens. Don't nobody take blows, beats, punches, and a whole bunch of stuff without falling to the ground and maybe even breaking a tooth. But you see, the importance here is not in complaining that, oh man, look, I don't have a tooth anymore. Like, calm down. There are dentists all over the show. Go get a veneer or something. You'll be good. What's important is after losing a tooth, getting up, going to a dentist, getting a veneer, and then punching again. Punching back. The problem here is in staying down. I like to say that this here Christian game is not about how well you start or even how well you fight in the center. It's about the fact that you get to the end, even if you get to the end limping. It is about the fact that you get to the end, even if you get to the end basically carrying your one hand in your arms, in your arm, because it's been severed. It's been amputated. And then you walk to the finish line with it. But guess what? You got to the finish line, albeit having been dismembered somewhere along the way. It's about having a heartbeat, a pulse, anything at all that will detect on the monitor, okay? And I'm still all about that business of being like, dee-deep, 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 dee-deep. I have not yet flatlined, have I? Albeit every so often sporting an amputated toe. You do go below the belt, especially towards the end of yourselves, like it is clear. When the devil is done, when he's finished off, because he makes all of y'all, his minions, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious ambitious, because things tend to be crazy quiet in a very scary capacity in the run-up to the saint's deliverance. I don't care, I get to burp, because that there is me burping literally my victory. Mamelang. Satan gets very, very below the belt, extremely. As exceptionally, just right before you get your breakthrough. So when I've got a whole bunch of rapists all up in my nether regions without me permitting their entry therein, understand all I see it as is gross. This freak is trying again. And yes, I am tired, but I'm not dead, am I? Just tired. I guess at this point what I gotta do is drink some coffee. Then maybe I'll be given a little bit of a zhoosh, straighten up, fly right walk, and finish the race that I started. Look at him chop off my toes like I'm Kunta Kinte in Roots, trying to make sure that I don't run away, but guess what? I'm getting out, okay? I don't expect anybody to dangle matsoho, their little grubby paws. I don't expect them with all of their lackluster demeanor to just gnaw and try and grope me with them. They're perverts. It's what they do. It's all they can do. It's their ontological makeup. It's their form. It's how they've been manufactured. You can't help who you are. You can't help who you are. You literally can't. You cannot help who you are. And so, seeing as you're a grubby pawed, grabby, the pouncy, like touchy-feely freak that can't take no for an answer, of course you're gonna try and rape again, aren't you, bugger? You're a sex offender, yet, however, to be put in prison. So for those reasons, you're just gonna keep roaming these streets, taking people's women in jail, because you can, you know? Out you're grabbing a man's wife and making her your little sex slave. Out you're grabbing somebody's daughter and just trafficking the living daylights out of her. It's what you are. You are made that way. You can't grab a lion and make it a herbivore. Try and feed it an apple. Say, there, lie. Oh, come on, nice little lion. Just chew the apple. You will feel the crunch and you'll realize that meat is not that great. I apologize. It's who they are. They're perverts. It's who the devil has made them. They're freaks. It's what they are. They're rapists. They're a bunch of chauvinistic, misogynistic baboons that out here grab women like it's food on an FMCG shelf and they're super hungry. They just take it and think that they can just pay for it at the point of sales counter and then just walk out the store with it. They think we can all be freaking bought. So, I mean, do you, little lion, and grab your meat. You will do that until you're kicked out the way. Bullet. Bah. Let a hunter end you. There is no ending the reign of terror of a beast roaming around in suburbia. other than to catch it by animal hunters and put it down. So until your little lackluster baboons are dead, listen, ladies, don't think that just because you did that which is unseemly, unaccommodating, and uncouth, to Ukshela Inja that has been fostering for 20 years and you found him gross, he like proper, your stomach contents are on your plate. Because every time he walks by, you vomit. Just because you finally were like, you're naked like something else, I want to live. Just because you did that does not mean I'm going to do it. I'm not about to go and eat my vomit just because there appears to be no other nutritional food in the streets. I'm going to go and find food that's edible and then kill the thing that is vomity on my plate. I'm going to end your little deadbeat boys. Do you understand? Understand they are gonna die. I told you, women, your little lackluster demeanor in saying that we're gonna be in this together, Karabo, at some point we're gonna accommodate. Right now we're foster girl, really attrition will eventually get you there. I told you it's a widow maker. I did let you know that it is an orphan maker. I did communicate to you some time ago that this complacent whatever thing that you're doing because you're lazy. Women, you are lazy to pray for yourselves. You are lazy to fast. Top of that, you're lazy to wait. You're in a rush. Always just kind of sprinting down the aisle instead of walking. You like yemi ala day. See me see trouble. When are you gonna marry me, oh? See me see trouble. You best to marry me, oh. See, we've been dating for many years now. You want to leave me for lobola. See me see trouble. You gonna marry me, oh. Today. Yeah. You be grabbing men, washing and everything, and you make them marry you, some of y'all to the point of using witchcraft. You are in a freaking rush. So because the jahile, you then wake up somewhere along the way, in the marriage. When you didn't sign up for it. You go out to be popping babies for men despite the fact that you did not sign up to be a baby mama before marriage. You are in a rush. And it is coercive little baboon that has no respect for your rules, your virtue, and what it is that you stand for, your values. Yeah, when he finally causes you to water yourself down, when he rocks up after 15 years of a marriage, then you tell yourself, okay, we have to deal. Oh, sister, look at you have a bit of a bad case of amnesia. In that 15 years ago when you married him 10 years ago, rubbish. To a point even of what can not keep it on my I'm and now here it is that you are just saying, girl, Sonkesi did it. No, I'm sorry, I did not settle. I did not accommodate that jabu nonsense. We need to settle. We know we don't gotta. Because you see, the problem in the streets here is your lack of patience, women, and also your laziness. Let me tell you a little something about spiritual war. I've been in mine 13 years. I'm not lying. I was born again in 2011, and as soon as I entered into this deep cockpit, I've been fighting. My right to exist in a country that has given me constitutional rights to be myself, but whose occult organizations that are actually running the country have denied me my basic liberties. I have been fighting a crazy country that on the surface looks like it's sober, but it's really very drunk all day long. I've been making war with a bunch of misogynistic men who feel entitled to women, who are insisting on polygamizing the whole damn country. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, no, I am a one-man woman. And so I insist upon a one-woman man. And if one doesn't exist in this lackluster dump site that is called South Africa, I'm not going to go dumpster diving in a country to look for a man who does be me. I will go where it is that they're at and look at me. Be Archer, the bride of an American man. I told you, you're in naivety right now, right? That's what's good. I refuse to go dumpster diving for a husband, because that's where they are all. I refused to go dumpster diving for a husband. And I also realized, yes, fine, I was born in South Africa, but guess what? I got no inside the borders of this country, so if South African men are not sober, I don't have to take them in my stride. We're living in the era of globalization, aeroplanes all over the show. You know from the book of Daniel, it is written that in the last days, knowledge is going to increase and people are going to travel to and from. There's going to be a whole bunch of basically air traffic, international traffic, ascertaining that, when really things don't work out in South Africa, honey, you don't got to dumpster dive for a husband. You can go to the next door neighbor, otherwise known as a foreign country. You totally can. So I went and I sought the Lord's face for a husband that I'm not gonna have to find Mwara Dasbin Seeing as the ones from South Africa, but let's more Beanie, they're all maggoted and everything, and I have no interest in dumpster diving for a man. Okay, that whole refusal to dumpster dive because you just so happen to be born in a lazy country spiritually, yeah, has made you women very crazy lazy. You are looking around, scanning the periphery left and right, and because upon placing your little profiles on Tinder and making yourselves OnlyFans models to people that are out here gawking at your breasts, despite what is he doing gazing upon your private areas? Yeah, with you being this licentious little baboon trying to marry gangan men that are overseas, because you can tell that these Africans baboons don't make sense at all. Upon making yourself a basic OnlyFans model, you might as well be, please don't come at me. Come on, you are OnlyFans models. You might not have an OnlyFans profile, but you are OnlyFans models. You be out just scouring the internet for a man with pounds, a man with dollars, a man with basically any currency that's better than South Africa's, because you can tell. It's crazy. So you put your Facebook profile up, you meet a dude from the US, you meet a dude from Europe, you meet a dude from wherever, and then you out, you're popping your areola because you think you are Janelle Monáe. At some point when this dude is actually getting all obsessed, you're like, get off my areola! Off my areola! You think you're Janelle Monáe. You think you can just tell some obsessive freak to get off your areola after you have shown them your areola because you think that men, international men, with their pounds and their dollars, are just gonna be interested in marrying you as a South African woman after you show him your nether regions and, like I said, your areola. You've made yourselves spiritual whores. You've made yourself physical whores on the internet because out of severe frustration, you are doing more for men internationally than you would in these borders because you want them to see just how exotic you are from Africa. Or when they see your profile to hear safari sounds, a lion roaring, and be like, oh, I want something exotic from Africa. It's gonna clean, it's gonna cook, and on top of that, it's got a beautiful waist. It's gonna be Sarah Bartman. You've made yourselves international whores. You have made yourselves internet whores. And so for those reasons, what incentive does a man from the US have to actually be trying to put a ring on your finger when you're no different from a red light district prostitute in Amsterdam? Behind glass, actually being exotic, they come from some other country, and when they come to Amsterdam, they get the prostitute experience that they've heard about before. All you are these little harlots from Africa that international men are able to swipe left, swipe right, swipe right concerning because you're busy showing them your areola like your Janelle Monáe. That's who you are. You are busy stripping for international men, desperately hoping that one day they'll marry you because, like I said, just like me, you don't want to dumpster dive in Africa. You don't want to dumpster dive in South Africa in particular. It's too full of misogyny, and these baboons keep on out here afflicting you with easy tembu. And so you tell yourself that you're going to work really hard to make an American man fall in love with you. Really, really hard. You know what you're similar to? You're similar to young women starting out in the entertainment industry, all innocent, saying, I don't ever want to do nudity. I don't ever want to show anybody anything. I also don't want to do a full kiss because really I want to maintain myself pure. And then the pressure hits, a whole bunch of other ladies out there compete. They get the part because they're prepared to not only kiss but also do sex scenes where their breasts are showing and their buttocks. And because you lost a part, that out you're going to be paying you 50,000 rands a week. Next time you're like, okay, I'll show a little bit of boob. I'll show a little bit of boob. You're like actresses that start out saying I don't do nudity. And then tomorrow, look at I see all of your full frontal, even on Twitter because you think you're Rihanna. Yeah. You told yourselves when you were busy on the come up lehola here in South Africa, that's what's good, that, okay, you know what, when I date, the guy's gonna wait 4 months before we are having sex. And on top of that, I am not willing to do anal, and I don't want to go down on him. I don't want to do AB. Please, like, you better respect me sexually, dude, or, you know what, I'm not doing this. Yeah. And then you prostitute yourselves to an international market that makes you a lot more money, that batches you a lot more. There's a lot more to make out of dating a dude from the internet. And then you tell yourself that, well, I mean, seeing as he's all the way in America, all the way in Europe, of course there's not going to be any sex. Like I said, you're OnlyFans models. there's not gonna be any sex. So even though I'm the kind of prude to not have sex for 4 months while I'm dating a dude here in South Africa, for a dude on the internet, I mean, I can't touch him, I can't hold his hand, I can't go on a date with him, I can't basically show him what I am and what I can do for him, but I need to incentivize him to make out of me an honest woman. So you be out just stripping for a dude on the internet, you be out just sending nudes to a dude that you've met internationally, you be out just doing this, you be out just doing that, etc. And so what did that produce, oh little women? Fetishistic baboons internationally, out here realizing that African women are more willing and ready to make like Janelle Monáe and later on say, get off my areola. Women that are willing to show their nether regions to complete strangers online for $100. Because after all, $100 is presently 1,700 rand. So when it's $200, when it's $1,000, who in the world is gonna just give me 17,000 rands and just like that in one sitting? I don't even get bad chat like that by men in this country. At most they give me 4,000. At most they are to be giving me 4,000 rands, and even then it doesn't cover my rental. But a dude from the US can pay my rent, can do this, that, but I also want him to marry me. Cost of living is very, 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 very low in South Africa when you are an American, okay? $1 can buy you a house. I'm just saying. Y'all know that that is a hyperbole, an exaggeration, just in case you thought my mathematics was off, but you get my point. The dollar rand exchange rate just keeps on abysmally declining at an accelerating rate. Due to you losing your morality and everything, females, that's what's good. You out here be feeding fetishistic Americans a fantasy. Not just Americans, but British pounds, which are even worse than the dollar. That exchange rate is even more ridiculous. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, men and sex. I don't know what is up with that, right? Men and sex. Men and ukanzi, y'all just don't understand. They're dumb because of it. Like, they're just made so crazy dumb. It is an actual epidemic. If anything, in the scriptures there is this like warning in Proverbs 7 against the adulterous woman to the man, and not so much vice versa. Men are the ones that are always warned against women and sex, because they're the ones that just fall headlong with their noses first diving into crazy territory and then walking in the life and the eventuality of the immoral woman whose feet go down to death. They're wired that way. They are just silly, and they can be baboons when it comes to sex. So more so ought they exercise self-control when it comes to sex. More so ought they gaze longingly and lovingly into the eyes of Jesus Christ when it comes to sex. More so ought they exercise a whole bunch of self-control. They struggle real bad when it comes to sex, more than even us. So a man is prepared to do something so dumb as board an airplane, like a whole entire fuselage out here populating his body to Africa to finally have sex with a woman so far away. Like, that's men. They will either fly you to him or they will come to you because you showed them your body parts. Because they showed you their body parts. Here it is that this dude be out here getting a passport so he can finally get to have sex with a woman he's been having phone sex with all these years or months. And mind you, that same woman would never have shown like that, shown her allness, her completeness, her comprehensiveness like that to a South African dude. Over my dead body, dude, me you gonna respect me. Me you gonna understand my virtue. Me you gonna gauge what I'm about. Don't come here and try and do what? You don't know me, you don't know my mama, you don't know my cat nor my dog, you don't know my sister, and yet you be out here trying to bring down my panties. Please, I'm not that easy. Yeah, but you are to a dude internationally. Men are dumb when it comes to sex. They will pay for a flight from Great Britain to South Africa just to have sex with you. And when then they start to demand it, that then officially makes you what we call a prostitute. You might have imagined yourself something different. At the end of the day, you're a sex worker. It's like strippers. They have this naivety within them that they're not sex workers because they don't have sex with the guys. Yeah, it starts with stripping and then it ends up with full-blown sex, like the AIDS. It ends up with sex. They are prepared to travel cross oceans for sex. It's weird. That's why they even travel to Amsterdam to go to the red light district. Men are weird like that. That's why sex trafficking is such a big deal. That's why they insist on grabbing chicks from Cambodia. They insist on grabbing chicks from Africa. They insist on grabbing chicks from Asia. that would be Cambodia, from Australia, anyway, and then send them to like some funny little weird house in America. Like, could you not just go and steal some American kids from down the road? What's up with that? No, they like them exotic. They like them with Chinese eyes. They like them with high cheekbones. They like them with freckles. They like them with that funny little coily, tenderly hair. They like them with African girth and depth. They like them with that hourglass figure. They like them with Sarah Batman hips. They like them with all the varying nuances of how women across the world can vary, how they can look different. They like them different, and so, if at all, they can't bring them to them through human trafficking, they will traffic themselves, get themselves on a fuselage, and then come down to South Africa. Men are prepared to auction for human beings for the sake of nothing but sex, for thousands of dollars, for thousands of pounds. Like, they don't care. Like, they are made like this when it comes to sex. Labantu abana maitseo when it comes to sex, unless the Lord cleans them, unless they're bigger and better than that. Unless they make a decision not to be taken away by the tsunami of uqansi nje, bayahlanyiswa lezi nja, their sexual yearnings, their sexual desires, and then a demon rides on it and makes them even more sexually deviant. So when you're dealing with a population, one half of the human race that's with little discretion concerning sex, how in the world are you gonna go and unbutton your shirt and be like, oh, look at my areola, and then later on try and tell them to get off your areola? When this dude suddenly wants to travel down to this country, and then you want to insist that he be well-mannered, like a South African dude that you denied sex for 4 months. I get it, y'all are not patient. You don't want to wait for sex after marriage, right? So you put out there a Steve Harvey rule book where you say, no, 3 months is enough, 4 months is enough, 6 months, then Jabu's not going to leave me after hitting it. And then you expect a dude that traveled all the way from America, that traveled all the way from Great Britain, you expect him to, no, but I'm not ready, baby. What the heck? I paid for flights, accommodation. I took you out. I gave you my pounds and my dollar roads. Don't come here with nonsense. They will basically treat you like the rubbish that you made yourself out to be. Men are ubiquitously and generally largely the same, absent of them being uniquely different. Okay? So therefore, they're gonna have very limited respect for the girl on the school playground that RJ be showing all the boys their goods. When you flashing men like a bad man in a park out, you're flashing some churn with all that which dangles. You're gonna be considered a creep and a freak, okay? So whether or not you're an exotic creep and freak that is from Africa with extra hips than the regular European chick or whatever, whether or not you're an exotic creep and a exotic freak, a freak is a freak is a freak. The chick that every guy sleeps with on the school playground. Ain't no guy out here trying to take them seriously. So you make yourselves whores for international men. They then travel all the way to you in Africa or wherever you might find yourself. And when then they've hit that, you expect them to sit, to stay. I'm sorry, it was just a holiday that came with perks. It was a holiday that came with perks. It was a holiday that came with having sex with some strange chick that was prepared to show me her boobs on the internet, and now I'm going back to the US. I'm not about to go and marry some woman that was willing to just flash me. Men, whether or not they're in the US, Great Britain, or down here in these streets of Soweto, getting all dusty ka amstele dampi thing. Bayafana, they don't like to marry bad women. They don't like to marry loose women. And when they gauge you as a loose, it doesn't matter that you incentivized them with all of their dollars to finally fly over to South Africa to have sex with you. Bottom line is, if on the second date, upon you having a virtual meeting on Facebook because you met him on Tinder or whatever, when you start to show him your selfies, your nudes, you're no different from the chick that is out here on some, show me yours and I'll show you mine. Show me yours and I'll show you mine. What are you suffering from? Castration anxiety and penis envy respectively? You're acting like little children out here fixating on some psychosocial stage of childhood development as diagnosed by Freud. That's what's going on. Men don't take very nicely, they don't warm up to whores. I'm sorry, they just don't. Whether or not you're a whore from Africa with a great deal of exoticism in your bones, and you women made yourselves little whores from Africa that aren't, however, little whores in Africa. to these South African boys, you be on some, I'm shitty, I'm buttoned all the way to the top of my neck over here. You are not going to see anything of me because I'm a very good girl. I know my morals, my mother taught me differently. You are gonna stay away, Chabu. That's you. To seize with the job. But then, to Clement from the US. Hello, Clemmy Unjani. OnlyFans model. Because you think that's going to get this little baboon to make out of you a wife. Instead of realizing that there is an epidemic of disaster in South Africa in our men. Enough for you to, I don't know, get down on your knees and pray. Enough for you to, I don't know, fast. And I don't know, wait. For the Lord God Almighty to bring you a husband, should there not be one in South Africa that is sober. No need to dumpster dive in the country. And if at all the Lord will see it fit to bring you a man from the international market, if you don't have what is called basic virtue, you are not going to attract a man that is going to love you the way that Christ loves the church. But you out here hastily making like, yeah, me alla day, see me see trouble, when are you gonna marry me, yo? So we've been dating for many years now, you want to leave me for lobola, see me see trouble, you go marry me, yo, today, you are in a rush to get married, because look at you exiting your 20s unmarried, your mid-30s unmarried, and if you're Karabo 40, so you are stripping like a striptease for international men, in a way that you're not prepared to do it down here in these streets. And when then they take a severe interest in you, to a point of either flying you over or you being flown, or him flying down to see you, you think this must mean Uti he'll come with Mandwendwe, Lobola. When has a guy ever tried to make a prostitute from Red Light District, unless you are Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, a wife? She is the exception, don't you see, not the norm. When you start out as a prostitute with a man and then he tries to make an honest woman out of you, you on that day are what we call the exception and not the norm. So the fact that you have prostituted yourselves is the reason why you Aja can't stand me. And all of these declarations and proclamations on a rooftop. Why I keep on talking about how it is that first and foremost I'm getting married to an American man, and I happen with your hydrochloric acid all up on my shirt. You don't want me marrying my little American dude. You don't want me out here escaping the cray-cray travesty of this cray-cray country. And so you are supporting Abo Jabu, Abo Mandla, Nabo Temba to take me to a point where men that you have gotten used to in nonsense, rubbish from even America, from even Europe, will then feel entitled to me. Seeing as African women are out just struggling with dumpster diving when it comes to Amatota Etu. Yeah. Now you have caused your OnlyFans perusers of your American men to expect Utinami, I'm just gonna drop my pennies because he got some dollars. I need to use the Lulangpor. The Bible says narrow is the road that leads to life and only few people find it. I'm back. The road is broad that leads to destruction and many enter into it. So therefore, righteous men or godly men or men that aren't into random incendiary activity comprehend with every bone in your body that they're rare. They are rare. You don't get to dilly-dally around in Speedy Gonzalez Boulevard wearing nothing but a catalyst for a onesie and anticipate that upon being a microwave baby that wants what you want now, without waiting, that you are going to be awarded one of those rare, new people that are different, a cut about the rest. It is written in God's word that a faithful man who can find, just like the Proverbs 31 woman, an excellent wife, a wife of noble character who can find, similarly too is it written in God's word that a faithful man who can find, they're rare. You don't get to walk around wearing a catalyst for a onesie, do you understand, as a woman, and happen upon one and have him be like, this at last is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I will name her Eve. You don't get to happen upon a rare gem of a man that's been waiting for a rare gem of a woman and have him be like, oh, I have found a good thing, for I have found a wife. He will avoid you too. Because godly men are trained indeed, just like it is written in Proverbs 7, to avoid you. The immoral woman that says, come and eat of my delicacies, gaze upon my areola because I'm Janelle Monáe. They flee from sex. They flee from the immoral women that are to be licking them like they're snakes, for crying out loud. Mara, no. South African women, nah, I told you. I don't expect your men to lengisa matsoho, neither do I expect you to lengisa matsoho. This is a battle, it's a war, it's a fight. I'm gonna win, however, I don't expect you to not scratch me. Unroot all that victory. I am gonna win. I'm gonna be the one person that ultimately hops on out of here and marries an international Okie. Yes, it's gonna happen. But that's not trying to like lick and salivate after fetishistically that which is African meat. Because it's not going to be an individual that gazes upon me as African meat. Because they will be trained up by God to gaze upon a woman the way that God gazes upon us. You know, the whole loving you, the way that Christ loved the church thing. A man that realizes that this at last is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. Understand? A man will cross the oceans for a woman like that. He will go and give her the moon. If at all you have dug these streets and found nothing, and then you find it in Africa, you will make like Eddie Murphy and the opposite of it and travel to America just to find a wife. Like, you need to understand. Marriage is a lifetime covenant, a contract with the King of the universe, whether or not people want to believe in him. It is binding, literally forever till death do us part. Forever insofar as it means the end of this particular life. Anybody that enters into it hastily, like they are famished, ravenous, and haven't eaten for a couple of days, and so they're just gobbling without chewing, you are going to get stomach gas. You are going to get acid reflux. You're gonna vomit. It's not gonna give. It's gonna result either in divorce, or you are married to your roommate, or a whole bunch of cheating. Just a whole bunch of lack of satisfaction. When you run into it, restraint, otherwise known as a gut feeling. When you ignore that gut feel and you rush into it, like I said, like with acid reflux, you're gonna bring it back up again. That's marriage for you. It is a one-time thing, and the Lord awards it to his people and says, go out there, be fruitful, multiply. However, please don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. You can marry anyone you want to marry insofar as they're a believer, but you must flee from sexual sin, all that jazz. And then he tells a man that when you find a wife, you find a good thing and obtain favor from me. But you must be careful of the Proverbs 7 woman, and you must also be careful, seek out these streets for the Proverbs 31 woman. Because if you don't look for a godly wife, it is potentially true that one day you're going to be wanting to live on the corner of a roof because your wife is contentious. She's going to be like a dripping tap on a rainy day because she's contentious. You might even want to live in a desert because she's contentious. Because don't no man survive a house full of a woman that's always here. So if you don't wait on me, oh son, you will end up with that crazy lady. And when then you're with that crazy lady, you may very potentially fall into adultery with the other crazy lady in Proverbs 7. You will capitulate to the wiles of Delilah, because when your wife is annoying, it's easy for you to fall into the hands of a prostitute. So wait on me, oh son. If at all you want to make like Solomon and sing the Song of Songs in the book Song of Songs, you will wait for me. The Lord insists upon patience in his people, right? So a godly man is very serious about finding a wife. They don't just rush into this contract. And that's why you might find sometimes godly men out here being 40 and yet to be married, even though they've been looking for a wife since they were 29. Do you understand? That's why you find godly men being 45 and yet to find a wife, because the Lord is their restraint. Women of this world are a massive turn off, like a baby. Have you ever tried to feed a baby that's already full? They resist, they reject that teat, and they kick it out of their mouths with their tongues. That's what a worthless woman is like to a godly man. Coupled with the fact that when men get older, they don't retire down there, in the sense that their plumbing still works. And that's why you be out here getting a 59-year-old, a 63-year-old new dad. Their sperm count, insofar as it stays a certain height, they can actually be fertilizing you when they're Hugh Hefner at the very old age of 94. That's men for you. We are the ones with biological clocks that actually be ticking. And that's the reason why the phenomenon of much older men and much younger women continues to happen to this day. They remain vigorous and thriving all the way to their old age in a way that we don't. That's the way that God made them to be, able to continue to proliferate their lineage and their seed well into old age, while women have got a sell-by date. So for those reasons, men can wait. until they're like 50 to get married without it being a whole big fat train smash. The way that it is a train smash when a woman is out to being 50 and yet to be married and have children. So in the body of Christ, you find men who also gauge those statistics biologically and understand that I might be 45 and yet to be married. It appears as if though my ship has sailed, but not biologically. Men's ships don't sail biologically. Ours do. So that's why they keep on marrying younger and younger women, according to men. I'm looking for a bride, and she can be 25, 26, 27, 28, even if I'm 48. Age to them, literally, is irrelevant. Insofar as the woman is prepared to be with them, he will grab her at 19 and marry her. So, what I'm trying to explain by what I'm trying to put out there right now, in explaining to you that men can get to the age of 50 without having ever been married, 48, 45, 42, 40, 38, is because they know that they have time in a way that we don't have time. And so, therefore, an age-appropriate man for said lady, Cran K, Karabo, exists. There are more unmarried men who don't have children, do you understand, who are my age and older that exist on earth than you would love to admit in your stride. And they are not freaking out the way that I'm freaking out that my biological clock is ticking. And guess what? One of them is my husband. Because he's not expecting to meet, likely, a 40-year-old woman. He is expecting to meet a woman, even if she's 33, 32, 30, 29. Whether or not he's 42. Age, we all know, ain't so taboo when the man is much older. It's only taboo when the woman is actually making like a sugar mama. So my husband is probably waiting on a wife that the Lord is going to give him, and he's thinking she's 29. He's thinking she's 27, even though he's 43. But he's going to meet me. And finally, when a man knows, he knows, he knows. You know that Charlie Puth, not Charlie Puth, but I forgot his name. When a man, Louis Armstrong, I forgot who sings it. That loves a woman. When a man knows, he knows, he knows, he knows. Dudes are not as indecisive as females when it comes to relationships. Get that. Confusion about marriage or confusion about embracing the prospect of proposing or whatever to a man is not, it's not something that he's going to be churning in his mind like a rat rolling around on a wheel, looking very similar to this one, just to try and make a decision. When a guy has found a home run base camp, he's found it, and he doesn't waste time. That's how men operate. We be out here sitting with boyfriends borang for years on end on some this dude. There are so many flaws in him, but I don't know. And when he proposes marriage, you're like, they're very hard to come by. They're very hard to come by, these dudes. So when he proposes marriage, even though you're uncomfortable with some of his issues, you be out here embracing it, taking it, because like I said, yemi alla day, see me, see trouble. When are you gonna marry me? See me, see a guy with violent character flaws that you are very disquieted by, but you are just telling him, see, we've been dating for many years now, you want to leave me for lobola. See me, see trouble. You gonna marry me? Today. You be pressurizing a dude to marry you even though you are very disquieted with very many facets of him. That's a woman for you. Such that when another dude rocks up that's much better than your now husband, you're like, oh snap, I wish I'd met him first. But men, when men meet a chick that they want to marry, understand how singing nago. They know when they know, and that's why you can sometimes be a placeholder for 10 years, and then the dude meets another woman, and in 5 months he's married her. When men know, they know in a way that we just don't have that ability to make decisions real fast, right? And so, irrespective of age, whether or not the dude is expecting to meet a 22-year-old woman, or a 25 or a 29-year-old, but hey, look at it coming like iketla, it's gogwan. Sene 40, he won't care. Because when a man has found a good thing, he's found a good thing. He has been dilly-dallying, hopping up and down in these streets, searching, hunting, as with a binoculars, for a wife, for 10 years, for 15 years. When one comes past age, what you call past age, you are out here pulling me because I'm 40. Yeah, that's what's good. It will not matter. Because once Adam wakes up next to Eve, all he can say is, this at last is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I be calling her Eve. She my lady be baby. Now 40. I guess let's just get straight into it. How about we stop making babies? Because I have not found anything like this before. I have found a good thing and I've obtained favor from the Lord. This is my wife. I didn't expect that she would be 40. I thought she would be maybe 30, seeing as I am 43. But I don't care, because where am I going to find the combination, the permutations of what I asked for in a wife anywhere in these streets and at 22, my age is literally gonna make like Aaliyah be nothing but a number to a guy that would have anticipated that, seeing as the Lord kept him single all the way up until the age of 45, let's say, obviously then his bride must be a little high school graduate. His bride must of course still be wet behind the ears. A man that's out there thinking that his bride must obviously still be getting weaned off her mama breast probably thinks that his wife is still young, because herein lies the deal. When you get older as a man, you naturally assume, that's what's good, that all the women in your age group are by now married, or by now with very many children, by now ABC to Z. Just in the same way that Naomi, I'm sitting at 40 on some, all the men in my camp who are my peers are by now never mind fathers but grandfathers. All the men, they could potentially be my husband. I know, they already are out here congratulating their sons and daughters for matriculating. They've got teenage kids or kids in varsity. So I can totally dream. I can totally have a nightmare. Never mind a dream. And so imagining that a dude is gonna rock up here that does not have a heap of baggage just crawling around up his spine or whatever, like scoliosis. Same way that I assume that there's no 40 up man that is clean slatey. Similarly, Jew are 40 up men thinking there are no 40 up women with a clean slate. Because that's what happens in the black community, isn't it? Rushing to be out here popping babies for men that aren't even your husbands. The baby daddy culture and the baby mama culture in the black community is really very prolific. It is anticipated that black women must just take that nonsense in their stride. Us not being married with kids or being single parents, it's just a thing. That we must proliferate that nonsense. And when we want to be the different thing, we then deal with the remaining black community of Cains out here killing Abel for giving God an acceptable sacrifice. When we don't want to have children out of wedlock, when we don't want to we get looked at on some it is no wonder then God is giving me over to a white man, because apparently according to the black community, because at some point we all gotta make babies, girl. How in the world are we going to ignore our machinery? Our plumbing gotta work. We gotta go and see if stuff still works down there, and if you don't test or fine tune and like screw it in nice and tight, your plumbing, it's gonna fall apart. It's all rusa. Black women be out there popping babies just because they're not married yet, even though they at some point have severe conviction that they don't want to have children before wedlock, proliferating therefore the crazy stereotype that we that baby mama baby daddy culture with no marriage. So therefore it must be thoroughly comprehended that of course there are men my age who are yet to be married, yet to have children, that assume that I don't exist, and vice versa. But you see, an assumption is not truth now, is it? An assumption is speculation now, isn't it? An assumption is that which we can't run with. Why? Because it's literally speaking too soon. And so for those reasons, we don't take it home, even though it might freak us out every so often. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, and a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. An assumption is not by faith. An assumption is not the stuff of Christianity. An assumption is not the stuff of biblical text. It is not hermeneutics. It is not expository preaching. It is not that which we study deeply and longingly and try to find codes in it like it's the Strong's Concordance. An assumption is just that, something to squash, flush, down a toilet, put in a dustbin, whatever, refrigerate until further notice. An assumption is that which we in Christendom demolish, because it is an argument. And since arguments are to be demolished, and they are lofty imaginations or lofty pretensions, we are to rather favor that which God would have us rather favor. Obedience to Christ in our thoughts is how we roll in these streets, that these arguments don't massacre us. Let's say that all of it, we will demolish assumptions, otherwise known as arguments, and every lofty pretension that exalts itself above the knowledge of the Most High, and we will hold into captivity every single thought to the obedience of Jesus Christ. So to assume that there is no 43-year-old with no children, having never been married, having never etc., is to indeed walk in an argument that is out here being crazy unbiblical, especially considering men tend to be the ones that can get to older ages single and content. waiting for wives, because guys are extremely uncomfortable about marrying women that they have a gut feeling don't make sense. We're the ones that run down the aisle. See me see trouble, when are you go marry me? Men are the ones that are to be putting women as placeholders. Do you understand what I'm saying? Men, they're the ones that put women as placeholders for 5 years, 10 years. You be jolaring job. When I'm going to propose, I've been sitting around here for a minute. Boy, come on now. Shame. The same job might marry you once everybody turns like 38. Even though you started dating when you were 23. Because this whole time you've been a placeholder. This whole time you've been waiting to see if I start a new job, am I not gonna meet Karabo? This whole time if I join a new tennis club, am I not gonna meet Karabo? This whole time if I don't move to another city, am I not gonna meet Karabo? And oh, sorry for you, sister. Should Jabu meet Karabo? Whoops. Look at you go. Goodbye, girl. Been together for 10 years, but look at him marry Karabo in 4 months. Men are like that. Sometimes they never meet Karabo. And so they have a severity of regret about not marrying the pinky that was like, I Suga, you're wasting my time. My ex-boyfriend was like that. Hey, the dude that I dated for 5 years, I was his placeholder. I knew it. Yeah, but this unfortunate soul never found anything better out there. So he wasted 5 years of my crazy life. That's what's good. And then we broke up, and after we broke up, he was like, I Suga vele vele, you are a placeholder, until he realized that it's a jungle out there. What am I gonna do? There's confusion everywhere. No one seems to care, but I do. Hey, but it's right here. It's a jungle out there. Poison in the very air we breathe, and no one seems to think I'm okay, 'cause I have found a jungle out there. I'm just singing the monk song. And so he tried to come back because he never found the woman that was better than me. Yeah. So to this day, he's still all up in my grill, crawling like a maggot all over my skin, crawling like nta all over my hair and whatnot. He wants me back because he never found anything better, but I understand there was a time when he thought he could find one. So as a result, he delayed the proposing marriage to me, taking out amalobola and all that jazz for 5 whole years because he was not sure. That's a guy for you. He will thoroughly throw away, like Jack in Titanic, Rose. He will drown and freeze while she's like, Jack, come back, until she moves on. He will lose the one because he didn't think at some point that she was the one. That's men. That's men for you. To a point of frustrating the living daylights out of his ex-girlfriend after he passed her up because he was wasting her time, and she's the one that moved on. But comprehend that if I had never moved on, that 5-year relationship was likely going to be a 7, 8, or maybe a 10-year relationship, following which he would have then looked at his own time and some, it's my late 30s, not Laitang. We're entering into the mid-30s now. We need to start making babies. Karabo's biological clock is ticking. I guess whatever. And so take out lobola with like a lingering banana peel hand on some, okay, Mewa Karabo, here's lobola. Okay, Karabo's uncle, here's lobola. And we were gonna get married having dated for literally a whole lifetime. We would have been dating for, and like a whole entire baby could have been born and gone to high school in our relationship. That's what's good. And only after year 13, he'd be out here taking out lobola reluctantly because so much time has progressed. But the whole time, the only reason why he took that long to propose was not because he was broke. It was not because he could not raise the funds. It was not because he was not ready. It was because it was not you. At least according to him at the time.